Hello students, welcome to another video. The topic here is going to be put-call parity and how absences of put-call parity can result in arbitrage profits. I'm going to go into a little more depth than the depth I went into for your studying of this that related to the 5 characteristics for a valid American option pricing model. Okay, so we start off with an observation that stock price and strike price are the same, 25. I assume the market price of the call is $4.50. The market price of the put on a per share basis is $3.50. Of course, the price of the contract for the call is just this multiplied by 100 or $450. The put, $350. Time to expiration is assumed to be 4/10 of a year, and the continuously compounded return version of the risk-free rate is assumed to be 7% annual. And so you're familiar with this spreadsheet, and here, of course, is put-call parity. And in equilibrium, S plus P minus C is equal to the present value of the strike price. Again, the present value of the strike price is kind of a strange phrase. Yeah, in a way, there's no such thing as the present value of a strike price that has any meaning. It's just simply the strike price multiplied by a continuous discount factor, CDF. As you can see here, X, the strike price, the name of this cell here, times E, that's how you do it in Excel, to the minus R times T. Okay, so kind of a strange thing, we just call it the present value of the strike price. We start off with at-the-money puts and calls, and we see that in this case, S plus P minus C is lower than the present value of the strike price, and that calls for a conversion, okay, long stock, long put, short call. And I just want to show you something. It's obvious here the price of the call is higher than the price of the put, and a conversion is called for. But I just want to show you something. What if the price of the call were $4? Okay, if the price of the call was $4, I want you to note that the price of the call was still 4, which is greater than 3.5. The price of the call was still greater than the put for this for these at-the-money options. And but now S plus P minus C is greater than the present value of the strike price, indicating that a reverse conversion would be profitable. Okay, you're familiar with why that's profitable from the prior video. Okay, but I just wanted to show you that it's possible for the call price to be greater than the put price, and for the arbitrage trade sequence that's appropriate to actually be a reverse conversion. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. And the point here is that it's all in the time value. It is all in the time value. That's the relevant point. The time value, since this call and put are both at the money, every penny of their value is time value. And the difference between the market price of the call and the market price of the put is not sufficient. Okay, it's not sufficient. We can see that, for example, if the price of the call were to be a little higher, that it would make a difference. Here, I'll make the call $4.19, and then we see that these values are the same. Now, here it's still showing one's greater. That's just because the present value of the strike price isn't really 24.31. It's something that rounds to 24.31. You know, other values to the right of the 1. So, but visually they're the same, and I'm just showing you that would be about the right price. But back at the $4 value, it was not, put-call parity didn't hold, and a reverse conversion was called for. And again, the point is that it's all in the time value. And the reason I started with at-the-money puts and calls was that it's easy to see what's going on because every penny of their value is time value. There's no intrinsic value for at-the-money options. Okay, so now let's change the stock price to 27. Okay, and let's pretend the call price is, I'll just make up a value, 6. Okay, and then if you think about it, the call has it gives the person the right to pay 25. The stock price is 27, so the call now has $2 of intrinsic value, and if the market price is 6, it has $4 of time value. And then the question becomes, what is the appropriate value for the put? Well, we just have to make a guess. So what's a fair market value? Let's just say a fair market value for this put would be $2.10. I'm just making it up, okay? And let's just examine, is that going to work? Well, since the put is now not at the money, but rather out of the money, the right to sell at 25 when the market price is 27 is of no value in terms of exercise. So there's still zero intrinsic value, but you're further away from being in the money, so the put value would be lower. And if this was the price of the call relative to the put, 6 versus 2.1, would that be appropriate? We look up here and we see no. 24.31 is the present value of the strike price, and S plus P minus C equals 23.10. S plus P minus C is less than the present value of the strike price, indicating a conversion is called for. Okay, and of course, just to remind you, long stock, we're spending $2,700. We write the call, receive $600. We buy the put, we pay $210. We shell out $23.10, and of course, the value at option expiration is X times 100. 25 times 100, $2,500. So we spend $23.10. We've received $2,500, and the quote accounting profit is $190. But the excess profit is $124. We did a whole lot better than we would have if we had just invested $23.10 in a treasury security maturing 4/10 of a year later, earning this assumed risk-free rate of interest. Okay. So again, if we just invested $23.10, we'd have at the end of the period of $23.75. As you can see here, it takes the value E11, which is the absolute value of that $23.10, and just moves it forward in time. And $23.75 is what we'd have, but we end up here at $2,500, so we're about $124.40 better off. And of course, the excess profit then is that $124.40. So that's how the arbitrage works there. And so my point here now is to show you that put-call parity holds even when options are not at the money. Okay, in this case, the put and the call are both not at the money. The call is in the money, the put is out of the money. But put-call parity still holds. And hopefully you'll spend some time and you'll look at this column right here, and it's just showing that as the value of the call relative to the value of the put changes, and as stock price changes, which engendered that prior deviation in value, that this net cash flow at date 0 changes. But the option expiration value is still $2,500 in this example, X times 100. Okay? So the idea here is that put-call parity holds for all put-call pairs, for all twin put calls in equilibrium. And when it doesn't, the arbitrage trades that are called for are as before. Now let's just assume instead of being 210, let's assume the put price is 240. Okay, the put price is 240. Okay, then we have stock price plus put price minus call price, still less than the present value of the strike price. Okay, so we'll go back to 2.10. Okay, and now let's make it, let's just pretend the price of the put is 380. Okay, 380. Well, that's not right. If right implies having an equilibrium, put call parity hold, because now S plus P minus C is greater than the present value of the strike price. 2480 greater than 2431, and a reverse conversion is called for. Okay, so you can play around with this and figure out sorry. There we go. That looks about right. 2430. So that's an approximate relative valuation for call price and put price that would result in put call parity holding. Again, just so you're not confused, yes, it does say that S plus P minus C is greater than that. It is, but only because, once again, that this value here is not exactly 2431. Okay, that's all. That's the only problem. So it's a nothing. We're not going to worry about it. So now let's look here and see. In this case, the call has $2 of intrinsic value, because 27 minus 25 is 2, and hence $4, I just write here, $4 of time value. And the put is out of the money, so every penny of its value is time value. And there, 4 minus 331 is about the difference that we need to see in time values in this circumstance for put call parity to hold. So the interesting point here is that it's quite interesting to recognize that even with put call pairs that are not both at the money, that put call parity still holds. And it's also important to recognize that what's going on is really going on in the time value portion of the option. It's the time value of the call relative to the time value of the put option. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching.